call to order the November 21st Glens Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for 2022. First order, I'd like to make a corrected resolution to our minutes of July 18th, 2022 for the area variance for Spring City Development known as 25 to 33 South Street. The tax map number read into the minutes and used is incorrect. The correct tax map number should be 302.20-27-2. And I'd ask that would be amended throughout the minutes from that meeting. Do I have a second? Seconded by Commissioner McDonald. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Unanimously passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would also like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the October 17, 2022 zoning board meeting as submitted and written. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. All right. First order of business, Mr. Levac, please approach and state your name for the record. This is for 54 Mason Street,
Yep.
area variance 22-009.
Roger Levac.
And you reside at 54 Mason Street?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
We're
So-
moving in next 2 weeks.
Gotcha. So tell us about what you're doing. And if you have pictures, please feel free to step up.
The only thing I'm looking for is a variance along DeSantis Lane. That's considered a front yard.
Yep.
And right now I have a 4-foot chain link fence, and I'd like to put a 6-foot cedar wood fence for privacy. And that fence is going to go along DeSantis. Right now the fence is about 8 to 9 feet. The current fence is 8 to 9 feet from the road, and I'm going to replace that fence with a 6-foot fence along the same over the same footprint of the current fence. And so that's going to be, the variance is for 8 feet rather than 20 feet. And it's going to go from the back of the house along DeSantis to where my garage starts towards the back. And that's going to be about 30 feet from Baldwin. And it's going to go about 30 feet from Baldwin, from DeSantis to the garage.
And so the 6-foot fence is going to end 30 feet from Baldwin?
Yes.
And then you're going to put in a 4-foot, is it white fence?
It'll be a cedar picket fence, and that's going to go the remainder of DeSantis.
Will it be the spaced or tightly together cedar? I'm thinking.
I'm assuming it's an open picket fence, but I haven't seen it. That's what the fence guy told me it was.
You're talking from the back of I'm going to call it the interior side of the garage to the back of Baldwin? That's not where you're labeling for
Well,
picket fence?
If you're going from the front of the house to the back on DeSantis, it's going to be the 6-foot fence up until about 30 feet from Baldwin.
And that 6-foot high
Is
wood side-by-side fence will then make a left to the garage.
right.
And then from that point back towards Baldwin will be a 4-foot high cedar fence.
Right, it's going to be open, so that way people driving around on Baldwin to DeSantis will be able to see.
Yep.
So it won't.
And if I'm facing your house on camera, I will be looking at the fence on the left-hand side of your house. That's all 6-foot high cedar the whole way back. That's what you're proposing there too?
I'm
It
sorry.
says 6 foot, okay. You can go to the left of your house.
Yeah,
Oh, to the
looking,
left, yes, right now there's a chain link to the end of my property, and my neighbor actually has a 6-foot fence already in place.
Okay. But so that you're not touching that on the left of your house? Only on the
I
right?
am the But that's 30 feet from the road, so I
Okay.
don't need a variance for that.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Questions for the applicant?
I might add that my neighbor across the street has a 6-foot fence that's 6 feet from the road. And my neighbor across the street, just a little bit off, also has a 6-foot fence that's less than 10 feet from the road.
Also, I have for the record, just did a drive-by, I think the property and, down Camden, I think most of the fences are 6-foot
Yeah,
fences,
yeah.
so it certainly wouldn't change it.
I walked the property today as well, and it seems to fit with the character of the neighborhood. I do like the idea of the 4-foot fence, picket fence on the back towards the garage, so people will be able to see through that corner if they're making a turn, so I think it's positive.
But not drive on my grass.
Taking
That
short.
should be a whole different, that's something else to address, not with a fence.
Yeah.
And this is essentially going in the same place that your existing fence is now.
Correct.
So you would be seeking 11 feet of relief on the DeSantis side, as well as relief from the.
Nope. That's the only variance I need, because the other ones are 30 feet from the roads.
But if I'm saying it's where your current chain link fence on DeSantis is not 20 feet from the road, right?
It says it's
Okay.
9 feet.
It says it's 9 feet, so you actually, that's considered a front yard because you're on a corner lot, so you will need 11 feet of relief. If your chain link is at 9 feet right now, technically it should be 20 feet because it's considered a second front yard, so we would also include this relief of 11 feet
For the picket fence?
for both fences.
Well,
You're in a corner, so you have 2 front yards.
I have 3 front.
Yeah, but
I have 3.
anything facing the street.
And so the only one I'm looking for variance is the one on DeSantis. The other 2 are 30 feet from the road.
Yeah, the other two, DeSantis is the other
Right.
one, so DeSantis, you do need relief of 11 feet,
Right.
20-foot setback, as well as relief from a 3-foot fence, allowing a 6-foot fence, and then a 4-foot fence where a 3-foot fence is allowed.
Yes.
Oh.
So I just wanna make sure
I'm going from
we-
3 to 4 feet?
Grant what
Oh.
is appropriate
Okay.
to accomplish what you're trying to do.
Okay, I did not think of that.
Well, you can, we're amending your
Yeah.
application.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there any other questions for the applicant? Thank you.
Okay.
Is there anybody here that wishes from the public? I don't see anyone. No one online. In looking at this, it does fit with the character of the neighborhood. And I do think putting in the 4-foot lower fence helps from that view shed. We've got the county referral because it's next to the bike trail, and they have really no comment on it.
Yes, it's a type 2, no further action is required, no seekers required.
Okay. All right, I would like to make a motion that the Municipal Zoning Board of Appeals hereby grants the application for area variance. The project identified as 22-0009, owned by Roger Levac, tax map 302.12-16-33, commonly known as 54 Mason Street. What we're approving is on the front yard setback along DeSantis, 11 feet of relief, as well as relief from the 3-foot requirement of a fence to allow a 6-foot for a portion of DeSantis, and then for the portion of DeSantis that goes back to Baldwin, a relief of 1 foot for the 4-foot fence.
Would that be also the 11 foot too, with that portion?
Yeah, the,
11-foot variance of that.
yes, it was 11 foot on that front yard. Yeah, the whole thing, yes.
Yes.
It does not appear that this will produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood, as several properties nearby have a very similar setup. It doesn't seem that the applicant can achieve this by another method, replacing the fence that's there and to contain his pet that runs in the backyard. While this could be considered substantial, it's really, it's replacing an existing fence that was there with an improvement. It will not have an adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. And while this could be considered self-created, it's really just replacing an existing fence and shouldn't preclude the granting of this variance. Do I have a second on the motion?
Can I make a quick comment?
Yes, please.
I just, this board is, you mentioned a pet. We have previously approved a fence variance for someone almost entirely because they needed to contain a pet.
Mhm.
That person no longer lives there. There is no longer a pet there that needs to be contained. So in the future, when we, I'm not saying this is a bad project, but consider projects like this for purposes of containing pets, we need to consider that that fence will be there after that pet is there as well. So, and it, I mean, even though there are properties in this area that do have 6-foot fences, another 6-foot fence may change the character of the neighborhood. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Do I have a second?
I said.
Second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Motion hereby granted, or variance hereby granted. Thank you. We'd like to make a motion to adjourn the November 21st, 2022 zoning board of appeals meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.